Hold on to your hats, folks, because the Supreme Court just dropped a bombshell ruling on Trump's immunity in his 2020 election interference case. This isn't about whether he's guilty or innocent, not yet anyway. This is about whether he can even be for some of his actions as president. And the answer, as with most things Supreme Court related, is complicated. This decision has sent shockwaves through the political landscape, with implications that could reshape the presidency itself. It's a battle of legal titans with the very foundation of American democracy hanging in the balance. So, buckle up, because things are about to get interesting. Let's get down to brass tacks. What does it really mean for a president to face legal scrutiny? Presidential immunity isn't some magical shield that protects a president from all legal consequences. It's not a get-out-of-jail-free card. It's more like a legal Teflon coating, meant to prevent frivolous lawsuits and politically motivated prosecutions from bogging down the office. This immunity is designed to ensure that the president can perform their duties without constant legal distractions. The idea is simple. A president shouldn't have to constantly look over their shoulder while making tough decisions. They need the freedom to act in the nation's best interest without fear of personal legal repercussions. But where do you draw the line between official duties and personal misconduct? This is where things get complicated. That's the question at the heart of Trump's case. The legal system must determine whether his actions were part of his presidential responsibilities or if they crossed a line. Did his actions surrounding the 2020 election fall under the umbrella of presidential authority? Were they legitimate exercises of his power, or were they a blatant attempt to cling to power, even if it meant undermining the very fabric of American democracy? This distinction is crucial. The Supreme Court's ruling provides some answers, but it also raises a whole lot more questions. The implications of their decision will be felt for years to come, influencing how future presidents are held accountable. In a 6-3 decision that surprised absolutely no one, the court's conservative majority sided with Trump, at least partially. This ruling has been a topic of intense debate and speculation for months, with many legal experts predicting this outcome. They affirmed that former presidents enjoy broad immunity from prosecution for actions taken in their official capacity. This means that decisions made while in office, even controversial ones, are largely protected from legal repercussions. Think of it like this. If a president orders a drone strike, you can't sue them for property damage. This immunity is designed to allow presidents to make tough decisions without the constant fear of legal consequences. That's an oversimplification, but you get the idea. The principle is to ensure that the office of the president can function without being bogged down by lawsuits. The court essentially said that presidents need a certain degree of legal breathing room to do their jobs effectively. This breathing room is crucial for national security and other high-stakes decisions. But here's the catch. The court also acknowledged that this immunity isn't absolute. There are limits to this protection, and it doesn't give a free pass for all actions. It doesn't cover actions that fall outside the scope of presidential duties, like, say, using campaign funds to silence a porn star. Such actions are considered personal and not part of official presidential responsibilities. That's a whole other can of worms we won't get into right now. The implications of this ruling are far-reaching and will likely be the subject of ongoing legal and political battles. The court's 3 liberal justices weren't having any of it. They fired back with a scathing dissent, arguing that the majority's decision effectively puts presidents above the law. Justice Sotomayor, in a rare display of public frustration, even shook her head and gritted her teeth while reading her dissent. Clearly, she wasn't thrilled. The dissenters argued that the ruling creates a dangerous precedent, allowing future presidents to engage in all sorts of shenanigans without fear of legal repercussions. Imagine a president who decides to pardon all their cronies, or one who uses the military to intimidate their political opponents. Sounds far-fetched? Maybe, but that's the kind of slippery slope the dissenters are worried about. The Supreme Court's ruling doesn't mean Trump is off the hook, not by a long shot. It simply means that the legal battle will continue, with the focus shifting to whether specific actions related to the 2020 election fall under the umbrella of presidential immunity. Think of it like a legal game of Jenga. The Supreme Court just pulled out a big block, but the tower is still standing. Now it's up to the lower courts to figure out which blocks they can remove without causing the whole thing to collapse. Get ready for more legal wrangling, more courtroom drama, and more political posturing. This is far from over, folks. The stakes of this case couldn't be higher. The entire nation is watching, holding its collective breath as the legal proceedings unfold. This isn't just about one man's guilt or innocence. It's a reflection of the broader societal and political tensions that have been simmering for years. It's about the integrity of American democracy itself. The principles of justice, fairness, and the rule of law are all being put to the test. The 2020 election was one of the most contentious in U.S. history, with Trump repeatedly making baseless claims of widespread voter fraud. These claims have sown deep divisions and mistrust among the American populace. His actions in the aftermath of the election, including pressuring state officials to overturn the results and inciting the January 6th insurrection, have left many questioning his commitment to the peaceful transfer of power. The repercussions of these actions are still being felt today. This trial, if it ever happens, will be a defining moment for the country. It will be a litmus test for the resilience of our legal and political systems. It will force us to confront uncomfortable truths about the fragility of our democratic institutions and the lengths to which some are willing to go to subvert them. The outcome will have lasting implications for the future of American democracy and the rule of law. Section 7. Beyond 2020, Trump's legal troubles mount. As if the election interference case wasn't enough, Trump is also facing a slew of other legal challenges. He's been indicted on charges related to hush money payments, mishandling classified documents, and attempting to overturn the election results in Georgia. It's like a legal greatest hits album, except none of these tracks are very catchy. The Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity could have implications for these other cases as well. It's a tangled web of legal complexities, and it's anyone's guess how it will all shake out. One thing's for sure, Trump's lawyers are going to be very busy in the coming months and years. Section 8. A Nation Divided. The ruling's impact on American democracy. The Supreme Court's ruling has only deepened the partisan divide that's been tearing the country apart for years. Trump's supporters see it as a victory for the rule of law, while his detractors view it as a dangerous erosion of democratic norms. This case has become a Rorschach test for how people view the presidency and the balance of power in America. It's a stark reminder that we live in a country where two people can look at the same set of facts and come to wildly different conclusions. The question is, can a democracy so deeply divided even survive? Section 9. The future of presidential power accountability versus immunity. The Supreme Court's ruling has reignited a long-standing debate about the scope of presidential power. On the one hand, presidents need a certain degree of immunity to do their jobs effectively. They can't be bogged down by constant lawsuits and investigations. On the other hand, no one, not even the president, should be above the law. There needs to be a mechanism for holding presidents accountable for wrongdoing, otherwise they become too powerful, too unaccountable. Finding that balance, that sweet spot between accountability and immunity, is crucial for the health of American democracy. Section 10. The final word. A verdict on democracy itself? The Supreme Court's ruling on Trump's immunity is a watershed moment in American history. It's a stark reminder that democracy is fragile, that it requires constant vigilance and a shared commitment to the rule of law. The legal battle over Trump's actions will continue, but the real trial is happening in the court of public opinion. It's up to each and every one of us to decide what we believe, what we stand for, and what kind of country we want to live in. The verdict? It's still out.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.